Hi and welcome to our midday stand. Thanks for joining me. My name's Helen and I'm excited that you've been able to come online. I wonder if you heard Rachel's message this morning about hope and putting our trust in the source of that hope, Jesus. Well, how are your hope levels doing? How's your hope tank? Is it still full or has it drained a little bit since this morning? If you're anything like me, hope is one of those things that comes and goes. It wanes occasionally when I let things come into my mind and my thoughts and maybe don't take every thought captive. So the way I've chosen today to bring myself back and centre on that word of hope is to just remind myself of all the scriptures about hope. And if you've got some time in the next few days, just look up hope and how many times it comes up in the Bible and meditate on some of those amazing scriptures. I just want to give you a couple of those today. And the first is from Psalm 119 verses 114 to 116, and it says this: "You, O God, are my refuge and my shield. I have put my hope in your word. Sustain me according to your promise, and I shall live. Do not let my hopes be dashed." I love the fact that the psalmist is so honest. He sets his mind and heart and spirit on hope. He sets himself to take refuge on the source of hope, God. But he's honest as well and says, you know what, there's this little niggle in the back of my mind that says, my hope tank might deplete. You know, my hopes might be dashed, God. Help me not to let them be dashed. Help me not to give in to that thought. If I hope too much, I'm only going to get disappointed. I looked up that origin of the word, don't let my hopes be dashed. And actually the Hebrew is a lot stronger. It says, please God, let my hopes not be put to shame. There's the idea that actually we don't fight just our human frailty and weakness. We don't fight just that sense of, what other people think, but we fight an enemy who wants to rob us of the source of our joy and strength in these days. And that enemy comes against us with a mocking spirit. That sense of, be ashamed that you hope in something external in these days. Look around you. Can't you see the world's in a mess? Why would you be a person of hope in the midst of this? It's that strength of, don't let yourself hope in this season. You should be ashamed of it. But I want to say no. Father, help me. Help me not have my hope be put to shame. Help me stand on your word of promise. And then it says that actually we take refuge and we put our hope in his word. And his word never fails. His promises stand. And I just reflected further on this, and in Hebrews 6 it says this: it is impossible for God to lie. Hebrews 6 and verse 18. It is impossible for God to lie. That means if we put our hope in his word, that word is trustworthy because it's impossible for God to lie. And it says further, we have fled to take hold of the hope offered to us, so we can be greatly encouraged. Then verse 19, and we have this hope as an anchor of our souls. So I wonder if you today would join me in speaking to yourself, speaking to your spirit and saying, you know what? God is trustworthy. His word never fails. His promises are sure, and I can put my hope and my trust in them. And I know that by God's grace, I'm going to make it through this season and win, because hope is an anchor for my soul. May God really bless us in this season.